Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the narcissist and why they stalk you. So let's jump in. So the narcissist will stalk you because once they have been in a relationship, situationship with you, and you have committed to them, you are all of a sudden a piece of their property for life. In their mind, not in yours. And you will know this by the way they speak on you, or the ability they feel they have to get you back whenever they want, no matter what other things you got going on. Like when they dump you, or they leave you, or disengage with you, discard you. Whenever they want to hoover you, it doesn't matter who you're with or what you're doing. If it's been a couple of years, they just expect that they're so popular and so well sought after that you're just going to accept them back. And in a lot of cases, the narcissist does win in these situations, but it's because people are under either spell work or they're under the manipulations of the narcissist, and they miss that hit of that dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin that they get from the hot and the cold. So they're still addicted to them. And what the narcissist does to keep you addicted to them, or to keep connected to you, is they always want to keep a cord, an energetic cord, connected to you. So if they have some sort of a child with you, or a bill after that you're jointly related to, anything that they can stay connected to you. They like to keep up with your social medias and stuff like that, or give you a phone call if you'll let them talk to you, even though you're not seeing them. These are things that keep them relevant in your life, get you thinking about them. The what ifs mainly, because when they leave you, there's no closure, and they do that so that they can keep corded up to you. That way they can energetically siphon from you from far away. And if they feel like, and if they can get you back whenever they want, then they don't feel like they're alone. They have these abandonment issues, and they don't feel abandoned until you cut off all energetic cords with them and you don't even talk to them anymore, and they are rendered insignificant in your life anymore. That's the only time where they feel abandoned, or that abandonment issue will start to rise and cause some sort of a collapse in their life, because you're cutting off energetic cords completely. And after you initiate that, it may take 6 months to a year, sometimes 2 years, for it to get through their head. They may not believe it for a year or two. They may just stay distant and monitor you, thinking they can still get you back whenever, because they have several times in the past. But now you're woke. Now you're understood of the ways they think and how evil they are, how malicious and sadistic they can be. They are not doing things out of naivety or because they're confused or something. They're doing things because they want to hurt you. They want to destroy you and take everything that you have, your gifts, your spirit, if they can. They want to be you, become you, walk in your shoes. And that's why they come to people. They come to people to take their aura, to take their gifts and their talents, and to walk in them as you, temporarily. And if they could do it long enough and break you down far enough, they may even try to do a destiny swap with you, which is getting into heavy spiritual warfare at some point. But when you cut them off, that's why you want to just go silent and not create any waves. That way it gives you a lot of time to heal, so that you'll be prepared when they do come back to tell them no and mean it, and be over it by then. Because a lot of times they're gonna, after they disengage with you, they'll talk bad about you for a while, as far as defaming and smearing you up, your whole name and everything that you worked hard for. They'll have other forms of supply, and they'll just go out and have fun with them for a long time. And if you don't contact them, after about a 3 to 6 month period, they're going to start to realize that normally you would have reached out. They don't ever reach out to you typically. If they do, it's going to be like, I was just concerned about you, or I'm worried about you, or I was just seeing how you're doing. Kind of like trying to make it like they're concerned for your well-being or something. So that's also them manipulating, trying to tell you that you have a problem, not them. And also it's getting you in the mode of having no boundaries with them and having no title to whatever you were doing. Like before, thought you were in a legit relationship and working on it. But at this point, it's gotten to the point to where they want to be this friends with benefits thing. That all came from the narcissist type personality. A lot of things you'll see in the world came from the narcissist, and they became the norm. So a lot of standards that we see in the world today are narcissistic type thinking mindsets. And that's our standard today. And that's why the world is in such a sad situation, a sad shape. And we always need more police, because there's so much injustice out there. But we have played into it as well by agreeing to those standards, to lowering our standards down to the level of the narcissist, which makes us toxic and enabling. When we enable and having no boundaries or no concern about self-love or morals, ethics, and values, makes us narcissistic. But a lot of times when we see the world stage doing it, we feel that it's okay for us. Or if it's legal to do, it's not illegal. You're not breaking any laws. Then if the government says it's okay, then it's okay with you too. And that's not the case. The standard's gotten really low, especially when it comes to relationships and things that occur on a regular basis. A lot of manipulations and lies and cheating. And it destroys a lot of homes, a lot of people, a lot of families and businesses. Opportunities and situations to where we have to create more laws and put ourselves in captivity. You know, it says in a word that when it's kind of like when people become lawless, the idea is you have to create more laws because of the lawlessness that's occurring. More and more laws to make it more stringent. And you do it to yourselves. You put yourselves into captivity by doing that. And that's kind of where we are today. They're having to create new and more firm laws in some cases, or to have no laws at all, which is like a state of anarchy, which then leads to more problems later, because then they'll play catch up. But it's because we keep pushing the note on our free will. We abuse our free wills, and it'll lead us to creating more stringent laws to where we can't do anything. We're not free to do anything because we're lawless. But anyway, they will look at you as property, so they monitor you. Sometimes they'll pay people contract work if they can afford to, or they'll use their flying monkeys, have them keep an eye on you here and there, because their flying monkeys play into that spell work and are seduced just as you are, sometimes in different ways and sometimes in the same ways, because they will sleep with anybody. It doesn't matter, just anything for supply. So it doesn't matter what gender or what type. They don't have a type. They just want energy, or they want adrenaline from treating people bad. But they'll monitor you that way because you're their property. And that's what you do with your property. You monitor it. And I'm not saying that we are their property, but this is the spiritual contracts that we get ourselves into, unbeknownst to us. And with the grooming from childhood, they don't want to lose you because you're a primary source supply. But when you're the chosen source to break the generational curse, they're unaware of that. They don't see that very often. Maybe once in their life, to see a person to break away from them, tell them no, and keep it moving, and then elevate. But most cases, they will monitor you, and when you're down, they just have to get a glimpse of you. Sometimes they will monitor you, and getting a glimpse of you, and if you're down and out, they know they caused that from where you were. They lowered you down, and it gives them good feelings that they're above you because they're in competition with you. So they're doing better than you, so they'll just run off and be with their supply again, because they know in their heart, by one look at you or something, if they read things on your social media and you're saying things about relationships and stuff in ways to where you're heard, or different things that are, but they can read between the lines just as we can, really, to know if they can get you back or not. They can assess that. And so these are things they do. They keep an eye on you, best believe. And they will monitor everything about you. That's what they do in their spare time. They stalk you not only in person, but also on your medias and in anything that they can find that you're doing while away from them. They build illusions, and they're in their own delusions, and they craft certain ideas and thoughts that are fake, and they like to draw you in. So these are some ways they do it. They are information gatherers. They're hackers too. They do things from behind the scenes, so they like to either learn these types of trades, and sometimes being these types of trades can be good in the right career and cybersecurity and stuff like that. But in cases with the narcissist, they usually use everything for evil. So they'll stalk you, and when you're down, they know they can get you back, so they're not concerned. They can still siphon from you from afar, and they can continue on, because if they know they can get you back, it's almost as if they never broke up with you in their mind. And they believe that you're always going to be inferior to them in a certain level. You're never going to advance above them, and they're in competition with you. So if you start to, that's the other thing, if you start to glow up, then they're going to come make sure they sabotage you from the background. Maybe they'll do things. Maybe they'll do spell work, incantations and things. Put spell work on you. And spell work is real. I've experienced it from my ex. And they will try to destroy you that way, or they will start to defame you or smear your name again around people that you know that are close to you. Or they want to know also if you're in a new relationship. If you are, they got to come in real quick and get in there with you so that you will break it off with that person. If you do that enough, that person will never want to be with you again. Or sometimes it only takes once for you to break up with somebody you had something good for to go back to the narcissist. And the narcissist isn't going to stay with you long. Just enough to siphon off you and to abuse you, sabotage you in your relationship, and then leave again. So these are different things they will do. If you're above them and advancing and healing, they got to come in and knock you back down, because you're living a better life than them. And you're doing better. You're doing well for yourself, and they can't have that either. What makes them stalk you is when they get, glimpses of nostalgia, or they haven't heard from you in a while, or somebody will say your name from in their group. What happened to that guy or that person or that woman, whatever. Those are things. Or they may see you from afar because you're in the same town or city. They may see a car or something that you used to wear or drive. These are things that will make a narcissist have you placed in their mind again, to where it's not necessarily, they may miss you, but they miss you, like they always say, it's just what they can get from you. And in those moments in time, they may feel like they miss you, and maybe they do, but as soon as they get back in, if that was the case, it turns right back into the same old thing, because they're on patterns. It's pattern recognition. I mean, once you get to know what a narcissist does and operates like, they're all like this. So it's just to understand the patterns and the recognition through the patterns of how they work and operate, and know the red flags, at least the basic ones. So these are reasons why they would come back. But again, they just want to come back and establish themselves again as their power over you, have their control over you. Maybe reinforce some of those things that they have in place, like isolating you, putting fear in you, causing trouble in your life, whatever. Or love bombing and then breadcrumbing, causing that hot and cold to get started again so they can inflame your childhood wounds again and then leave. Knock you down another peg, another couple of pedestals, or whatever in their mind. Most of us are humble, so when it comes to the empath, the black sheep, we work from humility, but it doesn't mean to be weak, and it doesn't mean that you can't love. You just have to choose who deserves your love. Vet them, go slow in relationships and not very fast so you can get to know them by their fruit before you make decisions, lifelong decisions, or decisions that are going to get you caught up with somebody in a bad way. You want to cut it off quickly if they're not bearing fruit like you. They're not equally yoked to you. They can't feel love, for instance, and if they feel like they're faking, lying, or cheating. Words are cheap and actions tell the truth. So follow the actions, follow your intuition. Everything from your logical mind and your emotional thoughts and state of being, your emotional field, should line up together with your spirit and with your emotional fields, all of them. There's several types of emotions that you draw off from. And when they all align, things come easy. It's easy for you to make a decision. But when things become conflicted, that's usually your intuition and your discernment telling you that you need to go the other way because you're ruminating already. And you're in the presence of an enemy, a wolf in sheep's clothing. But they have to continually work on supply sources, so they're an independent business worker that works all the time. If you ever met those people, they have to continually get people to work with them and to build with them so that they can get a paycheck because they don't get paid an hourly wage. And they're just like that. It's like a real estate agent has to keep their pipeline full or else they're not going to get a paycheck. The narcissist has to be, they're for sale all the time. And what they give away is sleeping with people because it's free. And it garners them supply. And it knocks all your walls down when you decide to sleep with somebody. You knock all your walls down. And they have the ability to affect you on a spiritual level, psychological, mental, and a physical level. Because when all those the spiritual, mental, and psychological are getting wrecked, it's going to wreck every foundation in your life, including your looks and your health. So run or walk away silently and heal, because they're coming back. And they're going to come back several times. They're going to tell you they changed or they've met with the Lord, or they're going to have that same thing going on. They're just going to change up the mask and try to convince you, try to sucker you back in. They don't love you. They just fake it. They don't feel love. And this is all for entertainment purposes only. So thank you for watching. Until next time, soldier up. Peace, we out.